Have you ever had one of those days where your hair is a complete pigsty and you're too fucking lazy to fix it? So, oh god, that was way too close to my face. Basically, today I want to fix this entire fucking monstrosity over there. Basically, how it's hooked up is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I want to hook up 8 consoles, and I want to hook them up to one TV with one AV input, and I have one power strip. So we're gonna fix all of this today. Or tonight, technically, it's like 8 o'clock. What I'm hopefully going to do, and this is at least my mission objective, I'm going to rip everything out, I'm going to see what has the longest AV cords, and I'm going to see what has the shortest AV cords. I'm going to see what has the longest power cords, the shortest power cords, etc. And I'm going to rearrange these all manually, and I'm going to hook them all up to that TV just once. I bought a bunch of stuff from work, like AV switchers, and AV cables, and HDMI switchers, and this big ass power strip that's like $100, and we're gonna hook this all up tonight, and I'm gonna make this work. One thing I discovered when pulling a lot of this stuff out is how much some of the cables look similar, like that gray cable and that gray cable. So what I did is I found some old Christmas tags, and obviously it's not Christmas anymore, and these are about a dime a dozen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write what console they are on them with a Sharpie. That way I can easily kind of go through and I can see exactly what they are just by the wire, as opposed to having to dig through and manually look for each end. Like, I know this is the Wii U charging one, so I'm gonna write Wii U charging and put it on there. Stuff like that. So as you can see, I went through the mundane task of tagging every single one of my consoles. Well, the AC adapters at least, for the most part. I'm not gonna, I did the Atari 2600 and stuff like that. I'm not gonna do the ones with the built-on chargers because I think that's kind of stupid. Here's the NES. I just find it easier to cable manage when I do that. I already have an extension cord in there for reaching to the later consoles over here that the TV can't quite, or the power strip can't quite get. I'm hopefully just going to keep the power strip on the ground over there. You may notice it's in complete shambles.
2 hours later.
Who wants to see the final product? I hope so, because that's probably the only reason you're still watching this video. Okay, this is it. I don't know why I said it like that. This is a big deal. This was very messy before. The consoles were in vague order of release date. Now they're just kind of clusterfucked around, to be completely honest. And some of them aren't even spaced evenly. That annoys me. But going from left to right, PS2, NES, no, I'm sorry, NES, Super Nintendo, and Genesis are on one strip. Dreamcast, GameCube, and N64, no, Dreamcast, GameCube, and PlayStation 1 are on another strip. PS2 is component. The Xbox One and Wii U are both HDMI. The Wii, PS1 over there, and the Atari aren't hooked up at the moment. The Atari I can hook up as soon as I get rid of the cable box up here. I'm thinking about ditching cable anyways. And the N64 is, yeah, not hooked up yet. I'll show you how it works, though. Just power it on real quick. So if I want to play, let's say, Street Fighter 2, because it's in the console, all I have to do is I have to go around the back, and there's a power strip over here. Hang on, let me get a flashlight. There we go. So this one's the main, as you can see. It's got Dreamcast, GameCube, and PS1 at the top, NES, SNES, and Genesis on the bottom. So all you have to do is switch up and down to get to whatever one you want. And then after that, look on the individual power strips. Super Nintendo is AV2. Switch that, power it on, and it should, in theory, turn on. And it does, and it works. Audio and everything. Here, I'll show you some audio. There, that's the Capcom logo. That's good enough for you. So if I want to play Sonic the Hedgehog on Genesis, it's the same exact switcher. I decided to go with years for these, or sort of by a decade, or by a decade of release, kind of. So the Super Nintendo, the NES, of course, which is going to blue screen when I turn it on, obviously, because it's the NES, and the Genesis. Just to make sure that everything works out. Sega. Yep. But what about if I want to play Dreamcast or GameCube or Wii U or anything like that? Well, let me just turn on the flashlight again. Come on. There we go. All I have to do is switch up. And then there's another switcher. So if I want to play GameCube, turn this on, and then hear a click. That's when you know it works. If I want to play Dreamcast, go over here and switch it to the top. Dreamcast, of course, being my favorite console, so it's probably going to be on the top all the time. And the one in the middle is PlayStation 1, which does not have a power cable, so that'd be pointless to switch to. I didn't even think I had a game in the Dreamcast. Okay, what if you want to play an HD console like the Wii U or Xbox 360 or PS3 when I bring it over here eventually? Well, for that you just need to go to AV3, or I'm sorry, HDMI 3. Oops, and then just boot it on, and then there's a remote. And basically, if you don't see anything on one setting, just flip to the other. So there's the Xbox 360. Thank you, Microsoft. And then here is the Wii U. I believe it's set on 1. Of course, until I get a Nintendo Switch. In that case, the Nintendo Switch is probably going to switch places with the, no pun intended, it's going to switch places with the Wii U. And I'm probably just going to put the Wii U in my closet. And of course I can turn this off if I don't want to use the individual power switcher, if I just want to make everything look black, but that seems kind of pointless. So yeah, I tried to make this as easy as possible, because before what I had to do was I had to go through and manually unplug consoles and plug in different consoles in order to play what people wanted. That included reorganizing a lot down here, so I used to have a shitload of controllers just all over the place, and I only had consoles for 2 parts of the shelf. It looked very cluttered, so I moved it to 3 parts of the shelf. Those are just the unplugged ones. These are the ones that are all plugged in. The Atari 2600, because of its long-ass cords and its short-ass controller cords, don't know why controllers in the 70s, or I mean consoles in the 70s did that. The Magnavox Odyssey did it, and then the Atari 2600 did the same thing. Really long leads, but the controller cords are like 2 feet long. It's worse than the NES Classic. So that's plugged in too. I just gotta find a way to plug it into the TV. And then here are all my controllers. If anyone has a better way of displaying controllers, let me know, but for now this is just what I'm gonna have to do. Unless they're NES or GameCube, because the GameCube controllers are freaking huge. So, almost as big as the freaking Dreamcast. Look at this thing. This is a beast of a controller. Can't get mad at it though, it's my favorite console. But yeah, so, I probably look even more like shit before because now I'm tired. That was the great console AV overhaul 2017. Join me in a couple months when I'm probably going to be redoing it again. Peace out, take care.